that's the problem that we have in terms of supplying something, because if I can in 10 days or 15 days get myself 1,000 flags or something for any special occasion, the HST rallies or something of that nature, it's just that fast.
Well, this is the thing, David, and I think...
you take your faith, because I paid for it in advance with my MasterCard.
Right, you got to take the risk on it. It's like buying online or whatever, right? I buy online just about everything. I've never been stiffed in my life.
Well, I bought 7 cars online and all the rest of the stuff, so I...
Yeah, you're a big online buyer too.
Pardon?
Except the printer.
What's that?
Well, we have had several printers that have worked fine.
What printer?
The printer that the guy refused to sell you because you're Canadian.
Oh, for the famous printer. You know about that one too.
Well, there's a few vendors that won't sell to foreign countries.
Well,
right?
no, I mean, do you know anybody that pushes U.S. Canadian and U.S. more than I do? I mean,
You're the guy.
I am a U.S.
Well, I mean, look at the flags he's got.
Friendship guy. I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
When the Iraqi war took place, I was involved with you.
Yeah, we put together a whole...
We had rallies.
Support rally, yeah.
Rallies
Yeah.
supporting the United States of America in their attack, and we got credit from this and that and the next thing and so on. And a printer, I bought a Lexmark printer on eBay from a company called Comp Atlanta down in Atlanta, Georgia, and they refused to sell it to me because I was a Canadian. And I wasn't even shipping it to Canada. I wanted to go down to Blaine's, and I sent back a thing saying, well, I'm going to... Sonia Clark in my office was an American. I said, well, it's for Sonia. She's an American. No. And we ended up... He's back on eBay now, but for at least 4 years he was kicked off of eBay and all the rest, and we got written up in over 2,000 magazines and newspapers around the world. We had CBC, CTV, NBC. We had 4 different networks in the office in Park Royal, and had so much fun because the guy wouldn't sell us a printer. Because I was a Canadian, and nobody was more. I mean, we were pro the U.S. and
He's got voting machines from the U.S.
I've got voting machines from the stuff.
The broken Chad ones from Florida.
Anyway, let's introduce.
He's got Hillary Nutcracker.
You can be. We do have Hillary Nutcrackers over there. Actually, Mitchell, bring me a set of Hillary and Bill Nutcrackers. Anyway, Richard, we're going to forget about the digital rag.
That's fine.
Okay, because
Yeah,
Chris is here.
we're fine. Yeah,
So,
we're done.
and
we're toast.
Chris Delaney. Well, there's a voting machine.
There
Yes,
you go.
we have a voting machine.
Oh,
But
wow.
where's
I've never seen them before. Yeah.
Never seen one
This
of these.
is an
before.
actual voting machine.
This is a hanging Chad voting
I
machine.
think it's upside down,
Upside
though.
down.
It even has Canadian Chads in it.
No, it isn't.
No,
that
it
was,
no,
that
it
was,
was. That's,
that was the
that's
right way. Yes.
That's the side for the legs.
I might know where everything in the house is. After the 2000 election, I thought it was stupid, and then I started seeing.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
Well, the only stupidity was building the machines and giving them to these people.
No, Chris, tell me that you wouldn't want a set of these.
It's got the legs. It's got everything. I mean, good grief. There you go.
It even has a couple articles about that.
Those are pretty good, and those are great likenesses too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, sometimes they're cheesy. These, my wife would love these. She's a Nutcracker collector, so yeah. Well, the Corkscrew Bill. I don't know if she'd go for that, but look at Hillary.
They don't mesh it anywhere. It'd be
Yeah.
really funny.
But isn't that?
Here you go, Mitch.
Wouldn't anybody like Florida? I've got enough voting machines that we
You
could
can
have
hold
an
your own election. That's
Yeah.
right.
I think you have 4 of them.
Well, I've got 12, I think, altogether. And there's our.
Oh, there's
Hillary.
probably more down in the warehouse.
I've only found 4.
There's more down in the warehouse.
Well, there's some in the warehouse.
Here,
Okay.
there's 2 in the back. I've only seen 1 in the warehouse.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we got a bunch of them.
There's 2 in the box by Cat, and there's 3 or 4 here.
Where there's 2 where?
In the box down by Cat.
Oh, in the warehouse,
The
yes.
store's locker. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, there's Hillary. Just beautiful, eh? Hillary. That's a Nutcracker. And you got to look at those thighs. They're just beautiful there.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, we have Bill with the corkscrew. Well, we won't bother too much.
Yeah, well, it's not quite anatomically correct.
No, Chris Delaney. Well, you never know. Maybe it is.
His was a cigar.
We never know. Now, Chris Delaney is... We're going to start all over again here. Chris Delaney,
yeah.
Chris Delaney is turns out, I'm not going to even bother trying, but I used to have a roommate, or I was the roommate of a guy named Dennis Braun in Ottawa. And Dennis was a Campion College graduate from Regina, Saskatchewan. My friend Jack Heron went to Campion and introduced me to Dennis, and Dennis and I somehow or other ended up sharing Dennis's townhouse in Ajax, Quebec, across the river from Ottawa. Now, somehow or other, we end up with Dennis has got a sister, or there's a Marcia. What is your relationship to Dennis? Your father, who I knew in Winnipeg at CKRC.
CKRC.
When I was 10 years old, and I did my first school radio report on Sunday nights.
At CKRC, right?
You're going to be speaking to this side, so we're going to.
So I have the wire crossing right over my body now.
Yeah.
No. I'm just going to turn it around.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And it clips on this side
Yeah. So.
because this is the direction that you're.
Okay. So yeah, Denny Braun is the brother of my godmother, Marlise Smith.
Marlise, that's it. Not
Yeah.
Marcia, Marlise.
Marlise, yeah. And so Denny is her brother, and so we've known their family for years and years and years. My dad knew them all in Regina, and actually at one time after my mom and dad split up, him and Marlise I think kind of got together a little bit.
Your dad and Marlise, Danny's
Marlise, yeah.
sister. Now
Right.
this is just, to me, this is just hilarious, you see.
Right.
Because, well, it's just, the whole thing is just funny.
It's a small world.
It just makes it such a small world, because the first time I ever remember meeting you was you were the leader of the Socred party in BC.
Reform, actually.
Well, did you not go Socred
Well,
Reform?
no, it was actually BC Reform, and then it became Unity.
Yes, but I thought you weren't a Socred first then.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I actually met you originally as a Socred. You became Reform, and Reform became Unity.
Well, those parties kind of went through that transition, but I wasn't there at the social credit
Except
stage.
Socred didn't join the Unity Party at that particular.
That's right, and there still is a social credit party on paper today, but it's defunct essentially.
Well, that was actually quite a fun meeting that we had out in Abbotsford there. And I got to sit beside Vaughn Palmer and listen to all the comments that he was making about the whole thing. It was cute, and
He's a big fan.
You started the Unity Party from the Reform Party, and there was even a breakout on the Reform, and it just sort of went all over the place. But it was too bad nobody got elected out of that.
Well, it
Because
would have
it
been
was a
nice,
good-
yeah. It would have been nice to get one or two people just to have a sort of a bit of a wedge in there, right?
Yeah.
Kind of keep the Liberals honest, but didn't happen. And typically in British Columbia, people seem to go all one way or all another, right?
Yep.
So, and that that kind of a windstorm may be approaching in the next election. For the Liberals, they could be decimated, and a third party could emerge.
Decimated is not going to hurt them at all.
No.
That just means they lose 10% of their seats. They got to
Devastated, you've got a hit.
Decimated.
Decimated, it's only 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
only
You guys
10%,
have figured that
yes.
out,
Well, I've known
Desi.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's what
Okay.
when the
Latin, of
Roman
course,
when
for
the
10.
Roman legions decimated an area, they killed every 10th man.
I see.
That's right.
So
Well, popular vernacular, it means destroyed, but I got
Yeah.
you.
well,
I got you.
it's
Yeah.
just reduced by 10.
So
you
they'll
know?
be devastated in the next
That's
election.
right.
devastated as opposed to decimated. They can live with.
Yeah.
But you impressed me very much because, not to take away from anybody, but you actually had Pia Chandel as a moderator for that thing, and it just wasn't working, and you managed to step in and take over and regain control of the room. In a room that had so many divisions and people outside in their secret little cartels. I remember the people from Fort St. John were, revolt of
Very
one
upset,
sort,
yeah.
and the people from Victoria were having another. And I was just wandering around and listening to all these groups while they plotted and planned. And
What was fascinating to me about that, David, was that we were with a group of people essentially who were reformers, and the basis of reform was to do the people's will.
yep,
Do what the majority say you should do.
Yep.
And so here was this group, a majority going in a certain direction that some of these smaller groups didn't want to go. And all of a sudden, that idea of doing the will of the majority was right out the window, right?
Yep.
Because it wasn't their majority, so off they went.
everybody wanted to have their own little
Yeah.
thing.
It kind of it proved that democracy is great, but it's only great for people so long as they're getting what they want.
Well,